my titles. And I'm like, Beachbody is too full of egos. We need to set that aside. It doesn't matter what my, accomplishments are. The fact is, I'm a doctor and I'm a health coach, and I believe in our products and what we have to offer. So, okay. So I hope that every single one of you have paper and a pen, because this is school. Okay. We are going to treat this like school. I love it. Excellent, Jessica. So you're going to be taking a lot of notes, and I 100% plan for you to come back and watch this and retake notes, because at the end of the day, if you are on this call, you are
Is she frozen for you guys too?
there. Okay. You froze, Jessica. I think it's your internet.
I was like, what happened to everybody? Everybody froze. Okay. Right? We're still recording. We're still recording.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay. So how I want you to approach this is like a pharmaceutical rep. And as a doctor, I can speak from the other side. When a pharmaceutical rep comes to me, I immediately get on the, what do you have to offer? Because they're in sales, right? And the fact is, we are in sales. If you don't accept that, then you're not in the right mindset. We are in sales, but our products are freaking life-changing. And if you know everything about these products, you will believe the fact that all of these things, and I brought out, like, literally, y'all should see all of the products that are sitting around me so I can use as examples, okay? But if you guys understand the power of what we have to offer, you guys, let's just be honest. Exercise programs, I 100% believe that everyone should be exercising, but if people focused on 80% of their efforts to change their nutrition and supplementation and 20% on the exercise, people would change their lives. But everyone wants to focus on the exercise, right? And the fact is, as much as a fan of the exercise programs from Beachbody I am, there are so many free workout programs that people can get online. If you're like me, I actually like going to the gym. I like going to a yoga studio to take yoga. I like that. So I will never be a Beachbody coach that only does Beachbody workouts. And I know that probably sounds, but the fact is that I'm changing a ton of people's lives by doing some Beachbody workouts, doing my own workouts, going to take whatever, but I am helping people change their exercise and nutrition. And those two things out of the health trifecta that I always preach about, exercise, nutrition, and supplementation, those are what we preach as coaches. This is what makes us different than any other company out there. There are no quick fixes. And literally, if you guys know, especially after the live that I did with Shaun T about intermittent fasting yesterday, I've had so many people ask me and message me in my DMs, and how many people have tried keto and then came back because they were losing hair, their hormones were out of whack, their menstrual period. Like, this is a common thing. And if we don't teach people about how to take care of their own health, we're not doing our jobs as coaches. So I want you to see your job as a coach just as if you were a pharmaceutical rep and you didn't have a spouse or rich parents or whatever to pay your dues and pay your life. And this is your job. Your job is to know your drugs. And our drugs happen to be natural plants. It's beautiful, right? But if you don't know your drugs, you're going to be like that pharmaceutical rep that I remember. This dude was just a doofus. Came in and he tried, I don't even remember what product he was trying to sell me on when I was practicing anesthesia. But I started asking questions. He obviously didn't know his product, and therefore he didn't get the sale. So the point of this call is that you are in school and you need paper and pen, and we are going to start like going hard. So I literally someone needs to tell me when we're at, okay, I think the word is onomatopoeia, but maybe I'm wrong, but what is it when you can spell a word same backwards as forwards? And she laughed and she's like, that's a palindrome. Okay, palindrome, whatever. What I want you to do is I want you to know this palindrome. I want you to write out in letters up and down, and so you have space to write next to the P and next to the A. I want PAGAP, P-A-G-A-P, okay? PAGAP. And you're going to be putting lots of notes by the different letters, okay? So Shakeology, obviously, we're going to be talking mostly about Shakeology because that is our number one product. And if people understand that it is, write this down, it is not a weight loss shake. It is not a weight loss shake. It is not a weight loss shake, because the moment you start marketing it, you have lost the people that lost the weight or don't need to lose weight. This is a daily dose of dense nutrition. It is not a protein shake. When someone says, well, I already have a protein shake, I will come back and say, well, are you protein deficient? Because more than likely you're not protein deficient because you live in a first world country, but you're probably nutrient deficient, and that's what this is. Oh, and by the way, if you're having problems losing weight, you're probably eating too much protein right there. Notice that when I said you're probably eating too much protein, and that's probably why you're struggling with losing weight. Because guess what? You don't need to be a doctor to know this. Your body is super smart. And what energy that you consume, it takes what it needs, and then it stores the rest for energy later, because your body doesn't know if it's going to go into famine, because we've been on this earth for 2.5 million years. It's feast or famine, right? So our body is super smart. It uses the protein that it needs. But if you're eating too much protein, which most Americans, I can speak for Americans, I don't know how it is in Canada and the UK, but food companies have realized that marketing high protein, this many grams of protein, sells products because people think, well, I'll just eat more protein and be healthier and I'll lose weight and I'll be full. And that is false. Unless you're training for like a figure competition and you're constantly lifting weights and you're stressing your body, you don't need more than about 25 to 30% protein every day. Bottom line, write those numbers down, because when you have this conversation with people, they're going to be like, oh, she knows what she's talking about. You're just doing your homework, guys. Okay. So right there, all of a sudden when they come back, because we all know the first objection is, well, I already have a protein shake. Okay. Well, first of all, and you do it in a kind way. You never talk down to people. Okay. You give them information so that they can make the educated decision, because I promise you, once you know all of this stuff, you're going to be able to have confident conversations when you have people that question their need for Shakeology. I promise you that. Percent of protein again. So if I were doing a program that I'm lifting weights like 5 to 6 days a week, I'm going to bump my protein up to about 35% a day. But that's not a majority of people. A majority of people are good with 25 to 30% protein. And if they eat more than they need, that excess protein goes to the liver, gets stored as glycogen, which basically gets stored as fat later. Okay. So that's why eating too much protein, one, could be the reason why they're struggling with weight loss. Two, those people that are on what they think is keto, actually you eat too much protein and it throws you out of ketosis. So right there, that gives you some verbiage that you can tell people and they'll be like, oh, she knows what she's talking about. You don't have to be a doctor to know this shit, okay? I want you to get out of the mindset. You have to know these things. This gives you power and gives you confidence when you are talking to people, okay? So PAGAP. So the first P, for me, I like to do the stuff that comes to mind first. So I do protein, because let's go ahead and just acknowledge the fact that it's protein, right? So yes, we do have protein. In fact, this is what you need to know. We have two options. We have the plant-based, and I use plant-based instead of vegan because the word vegan scares people off. The moment that you hear vegan, people are like, oh, I can't go vegan. I'm not asking you to go vegan, right? So I use plant-based instead of vegan. So I let them know we have two different protein options. The main difference is our plant-based one has all of the same things as the whey protein one, but the whey protein one has whey protein isolate, and the plant-based one has oat and rice protein in addition to the same common ones. I challenge you to sit down and write down the different protein sources, because once you write down and you compare regular to vegan, they're actually, protein sources are almost identical. So you have quinoa, you have flaxseed, you have chia, you have sancha inchi, that all of these things have so many additional benefits in addition to protein, just so you know, okay? But we have protein. So yes, you get protein. And in fact, it's a perfect balance of protein, because we know that you don't need as much protein as most people think. So right there, you kind of blown their mind, right? Then I let them know I prefer to start people off on the plant-based option of Shakeology, because I personally, and this is what I love about Beachbody, is that as a coach, I use all of the tools that life has given me. And I add it to all the tools that Beachbody has given me. And then I use those tools combined to help a person achieve their goals, right? So for me, I don't agree with time nutrition. I don't think that we are supposed to eat every 2 or 3 hours. We have not always had whole foods and refrigeration. Our bodies were meant to feast and fast. And so I'm a believer in intermittent fasting, and I'm a believer in high fat, low carb. I believe that we were not meant to drink milk past a certain age. We're the only species that drinks mother's milk from another mammal. Did you know that the enzyme to break down lactose is gone in 88% of us by the time that we're 3? Mother's milk is meant to fatten up baby, and then that is its purpose. So for me, and I realized for the longest time, I didn't realize that I had a lactose intolerance. And all of the gas that came along with my whey protein that I did, because I've always had a protein shake, because that's what the health magazine said, right? All of the gas, gone, because whey makes me fart. I'm just going to be honest. Now, here's the deal. The kind of whey protein we use in our whey, because I have some people that are like, no, whey is okay with me. Even though I recommend, because I tell them, I want to see what your body does for 30 days without doing any dairy. And they're open for that, right? Okay, you can do anything for 30 days, right? But if they're like, no, I want the whey protein, you can let them know that the whey protein isolate is a form of whey that has less problems with the lactose intolerance, because it basically has higher lactase in it. So it's basically a more expensive version of whey that has less GI symptoms. And that's really all you need to know, right? Is that our whey protein isolate, or our whey is protein isolate, and that is a form of whey that most companies don't use because it's more expensive. And most nutritional companies, it's all about the profit margin. And the more that you learn about Shakeology and the quality and the standards that we have as a company, you'll be like, holy crap, I can't believe that it's only $4 and a few cents per scoop after learning everything that I have, okay? So P of PAGAP, the palindrome PAGAP, because when you first start talking about this, you're like, okay, what did I learn about Shakeology, right? So P is protein. A is antioxidants, okay? So that's kind of a catchphrase. Everyone knows antioxidants, and oh yeah, blueberries are high in antioxidants. And what I challenge you to do is go beyond and understand, why do we care that something has antioxidants and superfruits? So antioxidants and superfruits, if you look at the bag, they're listed on the same thing, but they both have essentially the same qualities, right? So when our body gets stressed, so that can be lack of sleep, it can be a death in the family, it can be struggle with something at work, it can be eating shit food. Like this is all stress, right? So our body reacts to that with this thing called free radicals. And all you need to know is that here's free radical and here's an antioxidant that makes it go away, that takes care of it, right? That's why we care about antioxidants, because it is nature's way of getting rid of these free radicals that are going to cause major damage, okay? So the antioxidants and the superfruits, there are so many. And if you don't have to know all of them, but I challenge you. Like, I went and wrote through them, and like, I knew most of them, but I was like, oh, okay, I didn't realize that this has this. Goji berry, for example. Goji berry, most people, when they think of antioxidants, blueberries are the first thing that they think of. And oftentimes, because goji berry is one of the superfoods that you hear about, and people will spend tons of money on goji berries because goji berries are expensive for a good reason. There is literally, I believe it's like a 4-degree difference of when from the time the goji berry is picked to the time that it is taken. If it is heated anymore, it will go bad. So you have to handle this berry so carefully if you want to ensure that the person that's ingesting it gets all of its benefits. So Beachbody knows that, and the extent that they go to make sure that not only can they just put goji berry on the label, but you're getting it at its potency. You guys, this company is unlike any company. If you understand the links that they go to make sure that not only are you getting everything on the back of that bag, but you're getting it at its maximum potential. You're getting all of the nutrients and all of the super chemicals that are from nature that benefit you. They're getting in your body so that you can benefit from them. Did you know that if you heat a food above 115 degrees, so I believe it's 118 degrees, it's not considered a raw food anymore. And because it loses a lot of its potency. So Beachbody makes sure that everything stays below 115 degrees. So it stays in its raw form so that you get all of its benefits. Like right there, we've only been talking for 17 minutes. And are y'all ready to buy Shakeology from me? Right? Do you see? Because it's confidence, and confidence comes from knowledge. It doesn't come from a medical degree. I'm telling you, I didn't learn none of this in medical school. I learned this after medical school, but I was thirsty for knowledge. I was learning this stuff before I knew Beachbody even existed. I brought along, and I'm going to save these for later, but I brought along these because these are some of the medicinal mushrooms. And literally, I need to use them. I hate wasting. But I bought these when I started to learn about adaptogens in medicinal mushrooms, because I realized, like, for example, chaga. And of course, we've now added chaga to Shakeology, so I don't use these anymore. Every now and then I will just because I don't like to waste. But once I started to learn about how these superfoods and these adaptogens benefited me, I went and bought them. I saved so much money because I have Shakeology now, because I literally was buying the supplements as I was learning about them. This is ashwagandha. It has not, I don't use it anymore because it's in Shakeology, right? So, okay, so we're getting back. So PAGAP, the palindrome PAGAP, PAGAP. So first P is protein. The second A, or the A, is antioxidants superfruits. So I challenge you to go down, and literally there is something about taking your pen and writing it down and writing goji berry, camu camu, acerola cherry, lycium berry, blueberry, bilberry, luhangao, pomegranate, rosehip, green tea, coffee fruit. There's something about writing it down that's going to stick in your brain so that when someone asks you about the antioxidants or the superfruits, you'll be like, oh yeah, no, we have this, we have this, we have this. You need to know all of those? Yes. Because this is your product. If you're a pharmaceutical salesperson, you would need to know everything about your product. This is our #1 selling product. And if you don't understand how amazing it is because of all of its great ingredients, you aren't doing your job, okay? So the G in our palindrome PAGAP is gut health. This is so important, okay? So on gut health, I want you to do 3 little arrows, up, 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 right? So the first one is prebiotics. The second one is probiotics. And the third one is digestive enzymes, because all of those are important for gut health. The G in PAGAP. PAGAP, that sounds so funny, right? Every time I say that. So the prebiotics. So all prebiotics is the food for the probiotics, okay? If you think about pre and probiotics, It's the good and bad bacteria in your small intestine, not your stomach, in your small intestine. I'll understand why that is important here in a bit. So think about, you have an army of good and bad bacteria, right? Now, the standard American diet typically leads to too much of the bad bacteria overwhelming the good bacteria. A history of multiple rounds of antibiotics. Foods like gluten are known to cause leaky gut. Like, all of these things lead to bad gut health. So the fact is that we have 3 major categories of ingredients that address prebiotics, probiotics, and digestive enzymes. So the prebiotics, they're basically fiber, different sources of natural fiber that feed the good bacteria. So it's chicory root and yuccan root, okay? The probiotic, this is such, like, literally, if you spit this out, you're gonna like blow people's mind, because they'll be like, oh my gosh, she's so smart. She sounds so sciencey. The probiotic, it's called Bacillus coagulans. It is the only probiotic that is naturally encapsulated so that it is not destroyed by those gastric enzymes. So when I say gastric, I mean in your stomach. Everything goes through your esophagus down to your stomach before it goes to your small intestines. So most of those probiotics that people are spending big bucks for never even make it to your small intestine. Why? Why do they not use Bacillus coagulans? Because it's the most expensive one. Guess which one Beachbody chose to put in Shakeology? Boom. Like, right there already, people are like, okay, this girl knows what she's talking about, and I have 30 days to try it out. I'm sold, right? But what about, let's keep on going, because you're going to have some people that are like, well, I want to know more. So, well, let's finish with the digestive enzymes. So digestive enzymes, you don't need to know. I think there are 5 or 6 of them, but anything in science, an enzyme ends in ASE, ACE, cellulase, lipase, amylase, alpha-galactase. Like, ACE just means enzyme. And those enzymes are the digestive enzymes that are in Shakeology. And that's honestly all you need to know, because prebiotics, probiotics, and digestive enzymes helps people get their gut health back on track. And ideally, we want to change their nutrition and their supplementation. Obviously, Shakeology is our supplementation. We want to help them change their nutrition so that the rest of the stuff that they're ingesting is not filling their gut full of crap, right? That's our job as coaches. So PAGAP, protein, antioxidants, and superfruits. G is gut health. The next A is my favorite. It's the adaptogens. So I had never heard of an adaptogen, never studied about it in medical school. And it wasn't until a little bit after I started on my own post-medical school journey of knowledge when I realized that the advice that I'd been giving my patients that I thought were just lying to me was actually bad advice, because it wasn't working on me, and I knew what I was doing. I was following a low-fat diet. I was eating breakfast first thing in the morning so I didn't slow down my metabolism. I was eating every 2 to 3 hours, and yes, I brought food to the OR and snuck it under my mask, and people knew that I ate every 2 to 3 hours. And when I was doing that, it was when I was 33 or 34. I was teaching 4 killer classes a week and going to the gym. I was still gaining weight. And there was a video, turned down for what, but I looked, I'm like, why am I pudgy? I'm doing everything I'm supposed to, and it's not working. And that's when I started realizing that it's all about what we eat and what we feed our body with. And so I started to learn about all of these superfoods and all of the things. And the adaptogens was something that kind of blew my mind, because the adaptogens come from plants that grow at the level, basically they grow in places that it's hard to survive. So you think about the tree line, and above the tree line, because the atmosphere is thinner, you don't see a lot of growth, right? So these plants, and there's so many adaptogens, they grow at this level that is hard for things to survive. But they have these properties that help them adapt to overcome stress. And those same properties help you to overcome stress as well. So right there, I mean, come on. Not only do they do that, but they help boost your immune system. You guys, I'm sure that you have the same history that I do, but I've been a coach now for 3.5 years, drink Shakeology pretty much every day, and I have been sick twice. It's because I'm feeding my body with all of these micronutrients from Shakeology that are feeding my gut health, my immune system, my brain power, all of these things. It's not, I like when people tell me, well, I have, what about this? It's got this many fat grams and this many carbohydrates. I really don't care. Tell me about the ingredients. What are you feeding your body with? So I realized that in the list of adaptogens, I was actually using all of those. So there's ashwagandha, which I just love to say ashwagandha. It just sounds fun, right? It's just Sandra. So there's ashwagandha, astragalus, chaga, Shisandra. I mean, all of the adaptogens are just fun to say. Reishi, cordyceps, maca, and maitake. So out of all of those, I was paying separately for ashwagandha, chaga, reishi, cordyceps, and maca. 5 out of the 7. Because each of them have completely, they're superfoods. They're super powerful foods that people have been using for centuries. Just wait till we talk about moringa. These foods, let's see, what did Helena say? Found out we don't have ashwagandha and Shakeology here in the UK. Interesting. I did not know that. That's good to know. I wonder why. That's interesting. Okay. Okay, so the adaptogens, that's kind of really all you need to know. Do you need to memorize all of the exact adaptogens? If you ask me, I think you should know all of the ingredients in this product. And I know that it's a lot of ingredients, but the fact is, if you break it down and you look at it in PAGAP approach, it's not actually that bad, right? But it definitely takes you being intentional about learning these ingredients. Okay, so the last piece, so the PAGAP, protein, antioxidants, gut health, adaptogens. The 5th and final letter, P, is phytonutrients / super greens. Okay, so phytonutrients. So let's talk about all of the Juice Plus people. Okay. When someone comes to me and says Juice Plus, well, we have scientific evidence. Absolutely. And I've looked at your evidence and I totally agree with it. I agree. All of the evidence that you have on your website shows that people get healthier when they feed themselves with fruit and vegetables, or all of the phytonutrients from fruit and vegetables. So Juice Plus is just a vitamin that has phytonutrients. So you were right, but guess what? Shakeology not only has phytonutrients, but it has protein. It has antioxidants and superfruits and digestive enzymes. And so already I'm coming back with, I know your stuff and I know my stuff is better. And this is why, right? Who are you ready to buy from? The Juice Plus person or me? Right? Knowledge is power, dudes. Like, for real, you have got to take this serious. Okay, so the phytonutrients. This is one thing, and am I allowed to share? I am allowed to share my screen. I'm going to share my screen. So this is one thing that I challenge all of you to do. Because if you go, let me move this around. So notice because I am interviewing Darren O'Lean next week for my podcast. If you just go to YouTube and just search Darren O'Lean and Shakeology, y'all, there's so many videos of educational stuff. Like literally this guy, if you haven't read, I don't have Super Life around. I have the audiobook, but I also bought the hard book. Super Life, if you haven't read his book, Super Life, you're like, I think it should be a requirement for every Beachbody coach, because if you understand the power of food, you will understand the power of Shakeology, and you will have a new respect for Beachbody and the levels that they go to ensure that you are getting this daily dose of dense nutrition. Like literally, there is no other product out there like it. So I challenge you to do this. And also, I want to make sure that you understand, and this was something that I found in my own research. So, okay, so first things first, if you just go to Shakeology.com, there's so much learning here. So there's the blog. So I'm going to show you the blog. So the blog is a great place to start. Boost. Now, I ordered Boost a while back, and it's been a while, and I started to read about these. These are stuff, the ingredients in these are so good, and they're stuff that I was taking anyway. Focused energy, so lion's mane is one of the medicinal mushrooms in it. And look, I've got lion's mane because I've read about it. Guarana, it's a natural energy. It's from South America. It's all of these are from like the earth, and they're all amazing ingredients. You don't understand the amazing products that we have, because the fact is, not everyone is going to try Shakeology right off the bat. I actually require them. I don't give away my time for free, and I require a challenge pack from everyone. But not everyone does that, and that's the beautiful part of coaching, right? You do it how you want to do it. But if you know all of, like, if you have someone that is stuck on energy drinks, oh my gosh, I've got the perfect two products. This thing called Focus Energy and Energize are going to be your best friends, right? But if you don't know all the products, how can you know how to help them? The best way that we can help people is by starting to ask questions and knowing which of our products can help them the most, okay? So I challenge you to go to Shakeology.com and just search around, because there's so many great resources here that I didn't even know we had. Like this blog, like I started to scroll down, and I'm like, okay, there like 4 Shakeology myths. I'm going to go back and read that. How Shakeology ingredients work together. You guys, like this, there's so much knowledge here. You have got to be a growth mindset and not a fixed mindset. Okay? You have got, and this is why personal development, personal growth, it has to include you learning about your products, because you will be able to help people more if you understand how many amazing products we have and how they're going to help people. Okay? So I want to talk about a few of the one difference between the plant-based Shakeology and the non-plant, the whey. The whey is the only one that has fortified vitamins added to it, okay? And that's one thing that you should know. They decided, because if you look at the back, and I have an unopened bag of the whey one. I don't know how it got mailed to us, but I haven't opened it. And so if you look at the back, it tells you exactly per serving how much vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, whatever. But if you look at the back of a plant-based one, there's no values. Well, why is that? Well, because this one has been fortified with vitamins, but this one already has those vitamins in it naturally from the extra stuff. So it doesn't have an exact amount of vitamin A, vitamin D, whatever. So you need to know that this one is vitamin fortified. This one is not. So, and like I said, I always start people on this one unless there's been very few people that have been like, oh, I want the whey. Okay, that's cool, whatever. So I want to make sure that you understand that. I want you to understand the guides in the back. DeLorean's always full of awesome information. The guides in the back office are a great place to start for those that don't know. Just click on the product training, and there's a lot there. Oh, awesome. DeLorean is, you see her white coat. She's a nurse practitioner, and she's one who is so good at doing her research and knowing products and knowing where everything is. So I challenge you to all be like DeLorean. Okay, so vanilla. So one thing you have to know is most products that have vanilla flavor, the vanilla does not come from actual vanilla beans. I hate to break it to you, and I can tell that Jessica knows, because she knows what I'm about to say, but most vanilla flavor comes from a beaver's anus, and I can't make that shit up. Literally, that's where most vanilla flavoring comes from. I hate to break it to you. I know, it's disgusting, but it's a cheap source, and because of the way labeling rules are and laws and regulations, they don't have to say it comes from a beaver anus. They just say natural flavors. And that's how a lot of vanilla flavored stuff gets their vanilla flavor. Well, we don't do that. Thank the Lord. Ours actually comes from Madagascar vanilla beans, which are actually the most expensive, but they're the highest quality. But again, here we are. We could have easily taken the cheap route and to save a little money, and we don't. So if you know that, you have so much confidence in this company that you've partnered with, right? And this is one thing I'm actually, because I don't know the answer to this question, and I'm not only, I get to interview Darren Oline, but I also get to interview Isabel Deichler. So if you guys have any questions that you want me to ask them, please DM me on Facebook. And because I want I guess my new goal in my coaching business is to help empower other coaches with this kind of information. So the more we know, the better and more successful we can be in our business and helping people, right? So this is a question I don't know that I'm going to ask, because I know that the word natural flavors, it's kind of an all-encompassing thing. And if you look at the bag for, I believe it's vanilla and chocolate and maybe tropical strawberry, it says natural flavors. But like, so the vegan strawberry, it says natural flavors. And then in parentheses, it says strawberry, banana, pineapple, papaya, and guava. I hope that the answer to that is they actually come from the natural substances that they take it from. One says chocolate natural flavor. That's a question that I'm going to ask Isabel and Darren next week. But you have to be aware that natural flavors oftentimes means like not good stuff. I'm assuming that it's not the case because we are the company that we are, that I've learned it to be, right? One thing that I want to make sure that you guys understand is the replacement of agave with organic cane sugar, because that was a big thing, because everyone's like anti-sugar, right? So one thing that you have to know is that organic cane sugar has, I believe, 17 minerals, 8 vitamins, and basically it has nutrients that are beneficial, okay? It's not taken through the process that sugar is taken through, because most sugar, and there's so many different forms of sugar, is taken and it's exposed to all of these chemicals to get it through the process so that it gets into whatever you have. Like I had one person ask me, because stevia actually comes from a leaf, right? It's natural. So it's actually one of the few sweeteners that is not bad. And I actually wrote a blog about how bad artificial sweeteners are. So sucralose, aspartame, those kind of ingredients, man, if you know why they're bad, that is super powerful for you guys when you're speaking to people. Like if you've ever taken a look at any Herbalife or Advocare products, unless they've changed their formulation, which I doubt they have, because it's more expensive to add higher quality ingredients, they're wrought with sucralose and bad ingredients. Yeah. So right then, when I can't tell you how many people that have come to me and been like, well, I do Herbalife. And I'll be like, okay, how's that working for you? And they'll be like, because you can't ignore the fact that a lot of them are really unhealthy because they haven't learned how to change their exercise, nutrition, and supplementation. So I have the conversation, okay, look, first things first, I've looked at the ingredients in Herbalife and I don't personally take it because, and I give them education of why sucralose is something that I don't consume anymore. I let them know I used to be a splendaholic, but once I realized that sucralose not only leads to cancer, it leads to bad, it disrupts the gut biome. So the bad bacteria versus the good bacteria. It leads to increased cravings. It leads to insulin issues. It leads to all of these things. And the moment that you tell them that, they'll be like, well, I didn't know. Why don't you do this? Why don't you just work with me for a month? I'm going to teach you how to do exercise, nutrition, and we're going to do supplementation with Shakeology. You can put your Herbalife stuff aside and just let me show you the difference. And if you don't think it's the difference, you can get all your money back. It will not hurt me. But the fact is, I know what I have, and I know what they have. Knowledge is power, guys. Knowledge is power. So going back to the organic cane sugar. So we have 3 things that are from nature that sweeten it, okay? We have organic cane sugar, we have stevia leaf extract, and we have luham gao. I just like to say that word, but that's monk fruit. Those are all plants from the earth that are not fake chemical laden processed crap. Okay. And the fact is, we have to have something that sweetens it a bit, because if you add all of these things together, it's going to taste like shit and no one's going to drink it anyway. It doesn't matter how good it is. So we have to have something that makes it a little sweet so it's palatable. But I'll tell you this, the amount, and of course, when Darren O'Lean, one of the videos that I was watching of him, when he talks about, he's like, of course, I can't tell you the exact amount of organic cane sugar because it's our proprietary blend. But if you knew how little the amount of organic cane sugar we use, you'd be like, okay, wait, why do I even care? So it's a very small amount. And it has less of a reaction to a person's insulin response compared to when we had agave in it. So it's overall a better choice. And that's why they made that choice. Okay. Whew. I told y'all I talk a lot. I wrote notes and I want to make sure. Oh, one ingredient that I want you to know about, and I'm going to give you homework on, is MSM. It says methyl sulfonyl methane. So this is something that literally I met this chick who owns this spa that has everything, every service and every product in her place is all natural ingredients. Like I walk in and there's bulletproof products and I'm like, okay. All of her makeup line, all of her, like her massage therapist only use coconut oil or CBD oil. Like they actually are aware of that kind of stuff. Right. So she did, because I've got some hyperpigmentation because I was on birth control pills for a long time, and my genes, it's the whole, and I'm not going to go into this, but epigenetics are basically the study of you're given a set of genes, and whether that light switch of the gene is turned on or not has to do with how you eat, the stresses, what you expose yourself to. So for me, my gene to express the hyperpigmentation of my skin was turned on when I started taking birth control pills. Okay. So I have, now my hyperpigmentation, it's called melasma. That's the technical name. It's gotten so much better, but it's still there. Like I'm not wearing any makeup and you can see like I don't have smooth, just all the same color skin. Right. So this woman told me, she's like, hey, I was doing some research and MSM is a natural supplement that you can take. And I looked and I'm like, what do you know? Shakeology has it. So this is just one of those things, the more you know about the ingredients, the more power you have, okay? So I'm going to wrap this up and I'm going to talk about a few other things and then we're going to take a break. Not take a break, but we're going to wrap this up. Ultimate Reset. If you haven't done the Ultimate Reset, I highly recommend it. It is truly the product. I brought out all of them. And when I got it and I was reading the ingredients, these are all natural things that I have learned about in my post-medical school residency journey. And they're all stuff that I know comes from nature and have natural benefits too. So literally, if you just look at the back of these supplements that are, I mean, turmeric and aloe vera, right there for the soothe, the power greens, you guys, everyone, like the whole people that are on this celery juice shit, like they're trying to alkalinize. Just have a scoop of power greens every day with your water. Like literally stop killing all of the celery and messing up your kitchen or spending a lot of money on celery that's already juiced, right? And just do a scoop of power greens every day because there's definitely benefits. And guys, greens, I truly like, I hate that they have a max on the amount of green containers that people can have because I think the more greens, the better, right? So if you understand, if you just take a look, and you don't have to order the Ultimate Reset to know the ingredients, but the more like Revitalize, it's a prebiotic and a probiotic. Bacillus coagulans and inulin. Like right there, if you know what amazing, like there are going to be some people that if you're not aware of what our products can do, you are not going to be able to recommend what works best for their needs, right? There are some people that literally need to reset all of their shit, and the 21-day reset, the Ultimate Reset, is the perfect thing for them. But if that's too severe, know about the 3-day refresh and everything that comes with that. Like, there are so many more products than just Shakeology. You guys, hydrate. If you are not talking about this, especially we're approaching the summertime. I live in Chicago, so it doesn't get super hot here now. But I mean, I'm from Texas and I live in Oklahoma. Like, in the summertime, I sweated like a dude. And this was what I used. The ingredients are so much better than any electrolyte replacing. I don't have to preach about Energize. I'm pretty sure that every single one of us drink. There's very few Beachbody coaches I know that don't love this product. And if you learn about this product, there's an ingredient in here. I believe I want to say it's beta alanine, that if you're taking every day, it actually has progressive cumulative effect, and it helps in maybe cognition and this is where, like, I realize, like, I still have learning to do. Like, you need to know about the products that we have to offer, and you need to know why they're so wonderful and how they can help people. Because at the end of the day, our job is to help people learn how to be healthier and happier, right? How can you actually do your job if you don't know the products that you are using as tools to do that, right? So PAGAP, to recap: protein, antioxidants / super fruits, gut health, probiotics, digestive enzymes, right? Adaptogens. Make sure that you know all the fun words. I mean, you sound really smart when you say ashwagandha, right? Or schisandra. And then P is the phytonutrients and super greens. Know those ingredients, know why they're good for you. I challenge you to do once a week. Every single week, do a new ingredient. So look up camu camu, right? Camu camu in Peru and some parts of South America is known as nature's Viagra. Hello? How many people would that get their attention, right? You don't have to learn about all of them at once, but set yourself up for success and know these products and know the ingredients. We have an amazing product just in this alone. And if we had just this, we would be able to help so many people. But we have more than this. And we got to know all of those products so that we can help other people. The more you know, the more you'll be able to help them. And that's how you have to look at it. You have to look at it as you are a pharmaceutical sales rep, and the drugs that you have are natural drugs that will naturally help reverse their health problems and help them become healthier and happier. That's how you have to look at your job, bottom line. So I'm going to open it up for questions.
I have a question.
Talk to me, Haley.
Okay, so why does it say on the bag to consume Shakeology within 30 minutes? Like, what is the science behind that? Because I've had some people ask me, like, do I need to drink it within 30 minutes, or like what? Why?
Where does it say that within 30 minutes? I'm guessing that it's probably because this is a whole food. Where does it say that? I'm not aware that it says that.
I just grabbed one as I was like listening to you talk, but it says under the directions, like towards the end, it's bolded. It says best consume.
Best consume. So my guess is because it is a whole food and because it's not full of additives and preservatives, if you leave it out, especially like if you leave it in the car, we've all done that before, right? And you get in and you're like, oh, that smells awful.
Yeah.
It's because it's food. It's plant food, right? So if it's going to be left aside, stuff like mold can grow, right? So that's probably why they say that, because it is a live food. It is a raw food. And that's my guess.
Yeah, okay.
But see, I learned something. I didn't know that it said that. I always consume mine right away.
Girls that were like asking if they could prep it like beforehand and like leave it in the fridge or something. And I was like, well, so that's why I wondered.
Absolutely. I used to do that when I was practicing medicine. I would. And if I'm traveling, and because I typically don't break my fast until about 11 or 12 o'clock, I will, and if I'm traveling, I will make it, put it in a cooler and drink it later. So, but it is, I mean, it tastes best right after I blend it, right? So there's no lie. It does taste best then.
Uh-huh.
Okay. What other questions y'all got for me? This is that awkward part that people are like, come on, come up with a question, Do you feel like you're overwhelmed with a ton of information?
No, honestly.
In a good way.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, good.
Jess V, you have a question?
No, I was just gonna agree with what you said. Just good information. It's just you always get kind of that I don't need this. It's too expensive. It's just really, really nice to know and to have the knowledge to be like, well, this is why. So
right.
I appreciate it.
Right. It fills in the gaps because at the end of the day, the macronutrients, fat, carbohydrates, and protein, I'm not really concerned about because you're getting macronutrients, but most people are not getting micronutrients. And I let them know, look, even if you are eating a whole food, all organic, all non-GMO, blah, 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 all the catchphrases, right? You are still missing out on so many nutrients that can make you feel and function at a much higher level. Yeah. You have to see our bodies like a freaking Bentley, and you would put the highest quality of everything, gas, motor oil, windshield wiper fluid, like everything you would put the highest quality in because it's a super expensive car, right? So why do we not do the same with our bodies, And having them understand that and like, this is not a weight loss shake, my friend. And Beachbody knows that. And that's why they give you 30 days to drink it every single day. And you can crumple up an empty bag and send it back and get your money back if you really don't think it's a difference. But I've never seen anyone drink it for 30 days and not feel a difference. Right. It's just impossible. The 30 minutes has to do with their research. From what I understand, people feel less hungry when they consume it within 30 minutes. Huh, okay. See, I told y'all, DeLorean's like super smart. She's full of amazing knowledge. Something you can use as info is Shakeology is considered a food in UK. Yes, Helena, and that actually, I said that yesterday on an Insta story because when I was on Sean T's thing, someone made a comment. It's when I talked about Shakeology being a whole food, and someone said, no, it's not. And so I went back. I wasn't reading comments when I was talking to him, but I went back on my Insta story and I'm like, hey, I just want to make sure you understand that this actually is a whole food. And not only is it a whole food, but it's the only meal replacement that got approved as a whole food. So we like Isogenics is in UK, Herbalife is in UK, but none of those passed. They all have the 20% VAT tax because it's not a whole food. But guess what? Ours is. And that's huge right there because out of all of the companies, probably Isogenics is the one that has the highest quality. That's, I guess, the most competitive, if you will. And if you know that right there, that kind of shuts them up. Like, I mean, you do with it what you want, but ours is a whole food and yours isn't. Just saying, Okay, any other questions or comments? Any things that, any topics or things that you wish that I would have covered that I could cover on another call? Because I'm going to do this exact same call for Danielle Natoni's team on Monday.
I have a question, Lauren.
Okay.
Because I know you eat high fat, low carb. Yep. How do you deal with objections that that Shakeology is too high in carbs? Because I get that one quite a bit. Not from people who are doing high fat, low carb necessarily, but a lot of keto people. So
absolutely. So I hit them with knowledge bombs. I asked them, well, how much do you think is too much carbohydrates? And just like the more you ask, the more that you can poke holes because they're really just regurgitating what they've heard, right? So if they come back with, well, I only do 15 carbohydrates a day and Shakeology one scoop already has that. Okay, so you're doing a true ketogenic diet. So I just want to make sure you understand that a true ketogenic diet puts you in ketosis all day, every day. And what that's going to do short term, yeah, you're going to lose weight. Most of it's going to be water weight at first. And then you might have some weight loss that's more than just water weight. But then in the long term, your hormones are going to get out of whack because God didn't mean, or God or the universe, whatever you believe, didn't mean for you to be in ketosis every day. So what's going to happen is you're going to have hair loss. Your periods are going to be irregular. You're going to get really moody. Your GI tract is going to get jacked up. And then you're going to go back and realize that this isn't something that's sustainable for life, but you're going to come back with jacked up hormones, and you're going to realize that maybe this isn't the way that I was supposed to live. So the fact is that I do have a low carbohydrate lifestyle, but I eat, most of my carbohydrates come from vegetables, Shakeology, and the occasional fruit and the occasional sweet potato. And that fuels my body with the nutrients that it was designed to have, because we were designed to eat from the earth. What can you say to that? Mic drop. And then there's going to be some stubborn people, well, I've lost weight this way. Okay, good. Well, when that day comes and all of this stuff is happening, I'm going to be here doing the same thing. And I would love to reverse all of that shit that's going to happen. It happens every time. It's so predictable. That's why the mass exodus of everyone leaving for Prove It, and they'll be back, because that is a fad. It is a fad. We are not meant to ingest this chemical that's fake to keep us in this state of ketosis that we were not designed to be in. That ketosis is our backup system. We're meant to feast and fast, and that's why I believe in intermittent fasting. I believe in the occasional 24-hour fast. I believe in cancer prevention fast of 7 days a year. Literally, there is science behind that. So a great book to read, I talked about it yesterday, was the Complete Guide to Fasting by Dr. Jason Fung. He's a nephrologist up in Canada, and he basically, nephrologists are kidney doctors that take care of people, mostly diabetics, because end-stage diabetes ends with bad kidney disease and kidney failure. And he realized, the title again, The Complete Guide to Fasting. So he talks about intermittent fasting. He talks about alternate day fasting. He talks about 24-hour fast, and he talks about long-term fast, and talks about how to do them properly. People that have really bad insulin resistance are the ones that benefit the most from fasting. But most people have some level of insulin resistance, a majority of Americans for sure. So any other questions?
That was
You're
really
welcome.
helpful.
Yeah, of course.
Any other questions, ladies?
No?
Because this was incredible, Lauren. I seriously took pages and pages and pages of notes. And I've been doing this for 7 years, and I'm still learning so much about Shakeology and about our products. And there's so much to learn because it's my job. So
yes, no, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the thing. That's the mindset that you have to have, because there are going to be some coaches that watch this and I don't need to know all this. If you're going to do this as a business, yes, you do. And it's your responsibility to know it. Otherwise, you're not going to be successful, and you're not going to change people's lives. These are the tools to change people's lives, bottom line. So thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining us. Guys, let's give Lauren a round of applause.
Yeah, thank you.
We really appreciate you taking time out of your busy life to talk to all of us and inspire us and educate us.
Of course. Hi. Hi, cutie. Love it.
I challenge all of you to watch this again.
Yeah.
And to do the research and just start learning a little bit every day as part of your personal development, okay?
Absolutely.
That's my action step challenge for you. Okay, Lauren, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
You guys too.
Bye. Bye, guys.